Everyone thinks the Great Wall of China was built to stop enemies. But the real truth is darker. Millions of people died building it. And in the end, the enemy didn't break the wall. They simply walked through the gate. A wall that can be seen from space. A wall longer than thousands of miles. A wall built by emperors, and paid for with human lives. But here is the real mystery. Why did millions of workers suffer, freeze, and die building it? And what secret was so important that China spent centuries protecting it? Tonight, we walk along one of the most powerful structures ever built. A wall of stone, sweat, fear, and forgotten stories. Because the Great Wall of China is not just a wall. It is a warning carved into the mountains. And the deeper you walk along it, the darker the truth becomes. More than 2,000 years ago, China was not one peaceful nation. It was divided into powerful kingdoms. Each kingdom feared the same enemy, the northern tribes. Fast horse riders from the endless grasslands. They attacked villages without warning. They burned crops, stole animals, and vanished before armies arrived. The Chinese states tried to fight back. But defending thousands of miles of land was almost impossible. So they built walls. Small walls at first. Separate walls for separate kingdoms. Each wall meant survival. But everything changed when one ruthless ruler rose to power. A man who wanted to unite China, forever. His name was Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang became the first emperor of a united China in 221 BC. He conquered every rival kingdom. But victory brought a new fear. Now he ruled a giant empire. And the northern tribes still attacked. The emperor had a terrifying solution. Connect every wall. Merge them into one unstoppable barrier. A wall so long that enemies would never cross again. Thousands of soldiers marched north. Hundreds of thousands of workers followed. Farmers. Prisoners. Soldiers. Anyone who could carry stone. The mountains would become the empire's shield. But building it would demand something terrible. Human sacrifice on a massive scale. The construction was brutal. Workers climbed dangerous cliffs carrying stones heavier than their own bodies. There were no machines. Only ropes. Only human strength. Many workers were prisoners forced into labor. Others were farmers taken from their families. Food was scarce. Winter winds froze the mountains. Summer heat burned the earth. If someone collapsed from exhaustion, the work did not stop. Sometimes the dead were buried under the wall itself, their bodies becoming part of the foundation. Over time, people began whispering a dark nickname. They called it the longest graveyard on earth. Years passed. The wall slowly crawled across deserts, forests, and mountains. Watchtowers rose along the horizon. Soldiers climbed the towers day and night. Their job was simple. Watch the north. If enemy riders appeared, fires would be lit. Smoke signals would travel tower to tower. A warning system across thousands of miles. It was one of the first military communication networks in history. But even with this massive defense, fear never disappeared. Because the tribes beyond the wall were patient. They waited. And one day, they would test the wall's true strength. Centuries passed. Dynasties rose. Dynasties fell. But the wall remained. Each new emperor repaired it, expanded it, strengthened it, especially during the Ming dynasty. This was when the wall became the giant stone structure we see today. Millions of bricks were fired in massive kilns. Granite blocks were carved from mountains. Watchtowers multiplied across the landscape. The wall stretched more than 21,000 kilometers. It became the longest man-made structure on Earth. A dragon of stone winding across China. But even dragons have weaknesses. For centuries, soldiers guarded the wall. Some were stationed there their entire lives. Imagine living on top of a mountain fortress. Endless wind. Endless silence. Days passed with nothing but empty grasslands ahead. But every soldier knew the truth. If the enemy ever broke through, they would be the first to die. Still, something strange happened over time. Many attacks did not destroy the wall. They simply went around it. Because the Great Wall had one weakness. Not in the stone. but in the people guarding the gates. Then came the greatest test. The Mongols. Led by one of history's most feared conquerors, Genghis Khan. His warriors were unstoppable, fast, disciplined, merciless. They raided villages across northern China. The wall slowed them down, but it did not stop them. Again and again, Mongol armies searched for weaknesses. Weak gates, corrupt guards, secret paths through mountains. And eventually, they found one. One night, something unexpected happened. The Mongols did not climb the wall. They did not break it. They simply walked through a gate. A gate opened by human hands. History suggests a guard was bribed. One act of corruption. One moment of weakness. And suddenly the wall meant nothing. The Mongol armies poured into China. Cities fell. Dynasties collapsed. The greatest defensive structure ever built was defeated without breaking a single stone. So after centuries of construction, after millions of workers, after thousands of miles of stone, the Great Wall revealed its greatest lesson. No wall can protect a nation if trust is broken inside. Today the wall still stands, stretching across mountains like an ancient scar. Tourists walk where soldiers once stood. But every stone hides a story of sacrifice, of ambition, of human weakness. And perhaps that is the real reason the wall still fascinates the world. Next time you see the Great Wall of China, remember this. It is not just a tourist attraction. It is a monument built by millions of forgotten people. A structure meant to stop enemies. But it also reveals a deeper truth about human history. The strongest walls in the world are not made of stone. They are built from unity, trust, and courage. And when those disappear, even the greatest walls can fall. If you enjoy discovering the hidden stories behind history's greatest wonders, subscribe, because the next story might change the way you see the world.